Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make this card, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. When you purchase Stampin' Up! Products through me, you can earn free products. Check out my current customer appreciation products on my blog, and the link is listed below in the description. Today, I'd like to share with you my third alternative project using the May 2021 paper pumpkin kit called Batter Up. This fun kit creates 9 cards in 3 different designs. If you're interested in watching me unbox this kit and put together these cards, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner, and that will also take you to my other alternative projects for this month's kit. If you'd like to subscribe to get your own paper pumpkin kit, please use the link in the description box as well. Today's card is a really fun one, and I'm going to show you how to create your own baseball die cut. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's begin by cutting down our card base. Now you don't have to do this step. You could leave this soft suede wood grain card base as is, but I feel like adding it to a more sturdy cardstock is just a really nice feature and creates a nicer feeling card. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm going to just trim off the front from the back at 4 1/4 inches. And again, you can trim this down and use it for the greeting on the inside. So now I'm going to just give this card a nice border by trimming it at 4 inches and then rotating and cutting again at 5 1/4 inches. And then when I add that to my card base of soft suede, it's going to have a nice 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. The next step is to trim down my red and yellow striped piece. Now this is the original piece and its width is just about 2 1/2 inches. And I wanted a skinnier strip, so you just trim that in half and you'll get a piece that's just slightly under 1 1/4 inches. And we're going to be using that for our card today. And then you'll want a piece of Bumblebee Cardstock, which coordinates nicely with the red and yellow stripe. And this size here is 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And that's just a really nice background piece for all the die cut elements. So go ahead and fold your card base of soft suede in half and add the soft suede wood grain card base front to the top of that in the center. And then you're going to add the bumblebee piece in the center of that. And just eyeball it, making sure you have it's even on top and bottom and from left to right. And then you're going to add your strip off to the left. There's about 1/4 of an inch or so of the bumblebee peeking out on that side. So you'll start with something that looks like this. So the next step is to create all your little pieces that you're going to use as the focal point. So what I have here are two 2-inch circles in basic white cardstock. One is going to be my final baseball and the other is my guide. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my guide, which I'm going to draw these half circle stitch lines on the baseball using that guide with a Stampin' Right marker. And I like the fine tip for this. So I have already made my marking on here, but you're kind of looking to divide that circle into 4s. So let me just show you. So if you were to divide it in half right there, and then rotate and divide it in half again, this section here and here, you're going to draw your line, and from the opposite section, okay? So you line up those 2 markings with one edge of your baseball and take your fine tip and really carefully follow that edge of the guide circle. And then on the opposite side, you're going to use the opposite guide. So again, mark from there to there, and then carefully follow all the way across. So now you have the beginning of your baseball. And to create the stitch lines, you're going to start one direction. I like to start from the middle line and then work out. And you just want to go nice and slow so that you get a nice even stitch. It can be a little tricky to get the spacing perfect, so just take your time. So that's one side. And then you're actually going to flip it and do the same direction on this side. So they're going opposite directions when you look at the baseball. So there is your baseball, and we're going to do a little distressing around it just to have it fit in a little better with the other die cuts. So to create that distressing, you're going to use a smoky slate or a different color, light gray ink pad, and then a sponge dauber. And just begin by sponging around the edge lightly. And then you're going to use the sponge dauber and just tap on some texture around the edge through the stitching, just to give it a little bit of a used baseball look. And then you've got something that'll look like that. Our next step is to do the stamping and fussy cutting for our greeting. So I'm going to start with the stamp from the kit that says, "You're the greatest of all time." I'm just going to ink that up. And then go ahead and stamp that on some scratch paper. And this is just basic white cardstock. If you get a little bit of, so like if it's not completely solid, I think for this card it's fine because it kind of adds to that baseball feeling where things are just a little bit weathered looking. So now we're going to go ahead and fussy cut this out. So I'm going to start with greatest. Okay, so there's greatest. And if you take a look at the other words, you can see that I cut into their space. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp those as well in some of this extra cardstock. So I'll start with "You're the greatest," or "You're the," and just ink up that one section and stamp it. And then I will do "all time," or "of all time." Okay, so you can see that once that dries, I'll be able to fussy cut those out. And then on one of the small rectangles from the kit, I'm going to stamp the sun. My son loves baseball, and so this will be a really fun card to be able to give him. And you can stamp this right in the center or off to the side. We're going to be trimming it down a little bit as well. Okay, so here for the "You're the," you just want to cut really as close to the words as you feel comfortable. There's not a ton of space for a nice big fussy cut. So you'll get something that looks like that. And then we've got the same for "of all time." It kind of swoops down just slightly, so it may get a little tighter around the "of." So I'm going to actually trim that just a little bit more off the top, and then come down close to the bottom as well. and cut that out. And then here for the sun, I'm just going to trim it, giving it just a little more space than those other ones because it's the more important word. And I do have a little more space at the top, so I'm going to just trim that down as well so it feels a little more even all the way around. Okay. All right, so those pieces are all ready. We are also using one of the baseball bat cutouts from the kit. So now we're ready to add all this to our card. I'm going to start with the baseball, and I do have that with some dimensionals. And just place it kind of in the center on the yellow side, and you want your stitching to be on top and bottom slightly so that you can see them as you kind of add your other elements. Next, we're going to add the baseball bat, and I'm going to cut a small strip here off one of the side pieces for the bottom of the bat. And then trim one of these in half for the top. And then place a glue dot in the center so that it can be supported by the baseball. And then I'm going to add this right over the baseball at an angle, kind of on the left side, just like that. And now it's time for our greeting. So this gets added with a dimensional under the G and the end of the swoop. I'm going to use the other half for the swoop here. And then I can just add some adhesive on the other side because that's going to go over my baseball. And that's coming off the yellow just slightly on the left side. And then we'll add these other greetings, and I'm going to need another strip here for these because they're really tiny. So I'm going to just go ahead and here on one side just trim the strip, and then I'll just cut what I need. So maybe about a 1/2 inch or so for the and that just goes above, kind of in the exact same spot that it was in the stamp. And then we've got sun. Sun is kind of over the text here, so we may not need a dimensional. So let's go ahead and add the rest of this strip to the back of the of all time. And we'll place that down a little lower, kind of below the baseball itself. Try to make sure everything is nice and straight, and then we're going to add sun just right there in the middle of all those. And I'm just going to use a glue dot right there in that top corner. I think I might put a little dimensional in the other corner, just a very small piece, just to support it. Okay, so I've got a little dimensional and a glue dot, and I'm going to add it right in the center between all those words. Super cute. And the last thing I want to add are some of the red enamel dots that also came in the kit, and just kind of place those off to the side of the baseball and bat, and then down in the left corner. And that card is all done. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun alternative card to the May 2021 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you're interested in getting your own kit, you can use the link in the description box below to subscribe. For more information on how to create this kit, like written instructions and close-up images, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.